everyone. I am Dr. Viren Srivastav, Director School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, here to discuss you about the subject inorganic chemistry. It is the first lecture, so we will discuss the introduction part as well as some part about the impurities. So how this impurity comes. The course outcome of this syllabus is that after knowing this subject, you will be able to know about the medicinal substances which are inorganic and which are being used for the treatment of various diseases. Along with it, you will be able to know about the impurities, its incorporation and its removal from the substances. Now, before starting inorganic chemistry, it is important to recap that what is chemistry. You know what is chemistry? Chemistry is the branch of science which deals with the properties of a substance. So, the properties of substance, like if you take sodium chloride, we will be able to know its solubility, we will be able to know its reaction. That is there in inorganic chemistry. Then what is inorganic chemistry? Normally, the chemistry are of two types. One is organic, other is inorganic. Organics are believed to be the substances which are originated from organism, and inorganic chemistry, the property of that substance which are obtained from non-organic sources. Now the third definition, that is for recap. What is pharmaceutical chemistry? It is the chemistry of pharmacons, means drugs. And you know what are drugs? Drugs are the substances which are used for the prevention, treatment and mitigation of any diseases. Along with it, it can be used for the diagnostic purpose also. Now, significance of pharmaceutical chemistry. You know, pharmaceutical chemistry or pharmaceutical inorganic chemistry, they are very much significant because we have to know about the substances which we are going to use. So, any substance if you are using, you know, nothing in this world is pure. So, you cannot expect anything that will be 100% pure. So, 100% purity is an ideal. Depending on the grades, we use various type of impurity and what are the impurities acceptable for that particular grade. Then come to what is impurity. A constituent which impairs the purity of something, that is impurity. So impurity is a general term, it is everywhere. But for chemistry, these impurities are classified in three classes. First is organic impurity, second is inorganic impurity, and third is residual solvents. Organic impurities are incorporated due to oxidative degradation, decarboxylation, hydrolysis, photolysis, and some enantiomeric forms are also there as impurities. Whereas inorganic impurities are incorporated due to reagents, ligands, catalysts, heavy metals, filter aids, charcoal-like things. The third but very important impurity, that is residual solvent. We know any process requires solvents because without solvent no reaction takes place. For reactions, mediums are important. So either we use water or we use various organic solvents. So these solvents are still remained even in final product. These solvents are toxic also. On the basis of their toxicity, they are classified in 3 classes. Class 1, which includes benzene, carbon tetrachloride, methylene chloride, methanol, pyridine and toluene. Whereas in class 2, it is N,N-dimethyl formamide and acetonitrile. Class 3 is acetic acid, ethanol and acetone. We know the impurities have, just look at the flow chart of impurities. Impurities we can decide on the basis of various things, on the basis of inorganic impurities, on the basis of organic impurities, and on the basis of identification. The sources of impurities. There are various sources of impurities. These are when you are going to prepare any substance, manufacture any substance. The impurities incorporated at various levels. The sources are raw materials, methods of manufacturing, manufacturing hazards, and instability of products. So first is raw material. You know, raw material is very much important, because as if you will get an impure raw material, your final product will be impure. So while preparing any substance, while manufacturing any substance, we have to take more concentration on the raw material, because if it is supplied impure, our product will be impure. And the impurities present in raw material, that will be in your final product. Like just one example, salts are prepared from sea water, from Sambar lake and from rock. And you will see the various impurities available to them. They are various. In rock salts, you will see a particular red tint, that is probably due to the presence of iron. So these raw materials are very much significant in incorporation of impurities to the final product. The second thing is the method of manufacture. Due to impure reagents, catalysts and solvents, reaction vessels and reaction intermediates, there are incorporation of various impurities. The first is reagents. Due to reagents, various calcium carbonate, we will have soluble alkali as impurity. We will have chloride and sulfate are common impurities, because in preparations we use hydrochloric and sulfuric acid. Barium ion may be impurity in hydrogen peroxide. The second is reagents used in elimination of other impurities. If we want to remove sulfate, we have to use barium, because barium forms a precipitate of barium sulfate. So for the preparation, for the manufacturing in potassium bromide, we use barium chloride for the removal of sulfate. But the sulfate is removed, but still some barium is present as impurity at the end of the process. The third one is solvent. We have discussed about residual solvent, but other than the residual solvent, if we use water, it incorporates various inorganic ion impurities like calcium, magnesium, sodium, chloride, carbonate, sulfate in trace amount. The other is intermediates. In the process of reaction, whereas various intermediates are formed. For example, let us see the example of sodium bromide. For the preparation of sodium bromide, there is a reaction of sodium hydroxide with bromine. And in this reaction, there is formation of sodium bromate and sodium bromide. This sodium bromate is reduced to sodium bromide with the help of charcoal. So if you will see, there are various things which will be available as impurity. First is sodium hydroxide, second is sodium bromate, and third is charcoal. So as intermediate, if you will see, sodium bromate will be available as impurity. The reagent, that is charcoal, that we have used, that may be as impurity. And third, the starting material, sodium hydroxide, that may be as an impurity. So impurity incorporates these all things. The next is atmospheric contamination during the manufacturing process. Atmosphere may contain dust and some gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, arsen and hydrogen. So while operation, these dust and gases may incorporate in the substances in the manufacturing process. These may contain final product during the manufacturing process. Sodium hydroxide readily absorbs atmospheric carbon dioxide when exposed to atmosphere. One example I am giving, that sodium hydroxide, you'd never expect the sodium hydroxide without sodium carbonate. And it is the one example that you will find that presence of impurity everywhere. Even if Indian Pharmacopoeia and other pharmacopoeias, they fix the limit of sodium carbonate in sodium hydroxide. Now the next point is manufacturing hazards. What do you know about word hazard? Hazard means some mishappening. So if manufacturing is going on smoothly, no matter, but sometimes by accident something incorporated in the product, like dirt, glass, porcelain, plastic or metallic fragments during various operations like granulation, tablet punching and filling of the product. Contaminations may also be incorporated from the containers and closures. And if you will see any liquid and all, you will find that a sheet of plastic that is given just below the cap because of the inertness. And if this glass will be in contact with the liquid, you will find that the reactions, oxidation will start. Again is cross-contamination of product. Cross-contamination is very much significant because in a place, if one manufacturing you are doing, initially if some other manufacturing was completed, those substances may be present in the atmosphere that will be incorporated. So, for any process, we need a cleaning, and a proper cleaning validation is required for that. Sometimes the contamination of microbes also happen. Many products are liable for contamination by microbes from the atmosphere during manufacturing. Microbes like bacteria, fungi, algae can contaminate the final product. Moisture, if moisture is there, if some suitable substance is there, carbohydrate is there, microbes are easily, they can grow. And even if you'll see, when the improper storage of water will be there, the microbes are developed in water also. So the contamination of microbes takes place. Now, next is errors in manufacturing process. Various process which are not, if complete, it will incorporate some errors. These are incomplete dissolution, improper mixing, filling, tablet punching, sterilization. If these all are not proper, they will incorporate impurities in it. And then error in packaging. If packaging will not be proper, it will incorporate impurities. If there will be leakage, there will be impurity. And if you will see, there are similar looking substances that may be misblended. So this we have to consider into the account, because similar looking substances, they are not manufactured together and packed together. Then the instability of product. The first is chemical instability. As we know, many times we have seen the expiry date. What is expiry? When with the time, there are various reaction takes place in the stored substance. That may be oxidation, that may be polymerization, that may be reduction. And due to these very reactions, the chemicals or the substances, they are unstable. They are further degraded. And these degradation substances, they are incorporated as impurities in the substance. And sometimes with this changes, with this degradation, with this time, there may be change in crystal property. The pharmaceuticals may undergo change in physical properties during a storage, like crystal size, shape, sedimentation, and agglomeration. The very important example of this is polymorphism. When one part of crystal that is very much significant as activity, whereas other morph that is insignificant. And if with a storage this morph changes, that will affect the efficacy of substances. The other is reaction with container material. If you keep some alkaline substances into glasses, it will interact. So, and in word, nothing is 100% inert. There may be some reactions takes place. So, whenever anything is kept in a container, it may start reaction with its container and closure. And this degraded product, they are incorporated as impurities. So finally, we can conclude that after all, it is not possible to get 100% pure substances. And one question for you all, that why 100% purity is not recommended always. So thank you so much. Thank you for listening.